sync it up.
Perfect.
Is that good?
All right, cool. Good morning.
How you doing, man? What are we doing again? Sorry. This was my grandfather's building. He worked out of for a long time, and he was just still is like a crazy industrious guy. And he's done many things in here over the years. I bought it a couple of years ago, and I'm stoked to be here. And you know, the way he was super industrious in here, it feels really good to be doing my stuff in here. So I really love the place. I love that it's huge. I love the high ceilings, and it just feels good to be keeping it alive, you know? Yeah, I love this place, dude. This is kind of crazy back here. There's my Mustang in cold storage. Shame on me.
Cryo storage.
Cryo storage. Yeah, that sounds better, dude. It's more high tech that way. So I got the Mustang in cryo storage, which is really good for the metal and the interior and everything you can imagine. This is mostly my grandfather's stuff. He just very industrious guy. He manufactured stuff. He was into all kinds of stuff. So there's just heavy equipment, machinery all over the place. Horizontal mill, giant, humongous radial arm drill. Behind you, there's a humongous, crazy metal brake. Just various shit. We got a old mill from World War II. I think they were making P40s with these. Brand new. Mint condition. What else, man?
What's up with these guitars right here?
These are in various stages of the home stretch, we'll say. So most of these need wet sanding, buffing, and assembling. This one and this one, I got to get one more coat of clear on. And then those will also be ready to be, you know, the final wet sand, polish, assemble, home stretch. It's a cool bass going to England for a guy named Sean. Got a neat pickguard for this too. Tortoise pickguard, and a matching truss rod cover, matching inlay. So really cool. I just love the looks of it, and we kind of used a Chevy C10 color as a inspiration for this. Often I'll see a car color I like, and that's like readily adaptable to guitars. I mean, that's been going on since like the 50s. That's day one stuff. A good car color doesn't always make a good guitar color, because you're looking at a car has much more surface area on it. So sometimes when you do a car color, it'll end up too dark on a guitar because there's less reflection. It's a much smaller object. So a little bit of a consideration there, but yeah, there's a lot of adaptability there, and I mean, they're really cool together. I think sometimes people try to combine cars and guitars a little too on the nose, and it gets really corny, you know, like I don't know. I think it's cooler to just get like a vibe off of something and put it on there, rather than trying to like make a guitar that looks like the side of a Corvette or something. That's just dumb. So got some basses, short scale, well, medium scale, 33-inch YG set neck, Cocobolo board, custom Avidesian pickups. This one's getting some bass dog ears from Seger Basses out in, I think he's in Chicago. Really cool stuff. Check it out. I gave this one a little extra bling. Basses tend to be plainer, so I dressed this one up a little bit. Some inlays, some head binding, fancy neck, fancy body. Really excited for this one. We'll get gold hardware. That'll be really cool. Actually, let me put a little piece of tape on this. There is something I'm a little secretive about. I'll show you. I'll clue you in though. So, remember that pink ivory I showed you? This is what it looks like in action. There's some minor checks in there. I filled in with some resin. I think it's gonna be pretty cool, pretty dramatic piece. We'll see how it goes with the finish. I mean, it's pretty vibrant on its own, but I might put just a little bit of magenta on there or something to make it pop a little extra. It's another box elder back. This stuff's really interesting. I like. I want to use this more on bodies. It seems to be a really nice material. It seems to work easy. Seems yeah, it's just cool. I like it. I like those pink. I don't know what it reminds me of, but this is on the home stretch. This just needs one more round of wet sanding. Then I can buff it, beginning assembling it. This one's cool. It's got a kind of inside-out grain where I painted this black first, and then I put a white pour filler on there to get that contrast. It's a little hard to tell now since it's sort of matted from the sanding, but that's going to be really cool. Got a YG over here, Bubinga top. This is what the finish looks like before wet sanding, before buffing. Mahogany body, flame maple neck. It's been a second. I can't remember what the board is. I believe it's ebony. Yeah, ebony with diamonds. Got a rough carved archtop YG. This is what it looks like before it gets sanded. Before binding, before all that stuff. This is a really cool one for Tim Lehigh. This is a dyed and stabilized redwood top, box elder back. It's gonna be really cool. Gonna do some custom inlays on that, working off of some of his drawings. Another archtop YG, flame maple top. This needs sanding, needs a top binding route done. You can see we did the inside binding, needs the outside binding. That'll be done next.
So what do we got here?
We got guitar I'm assembling right now. Right now I'm getting the pickups installed. I just run the outside string so I can get everything centered. Before I put the pickups in, we gotta get the harness. We'll tame this mess soon and get this all wired up. But yeah, this is from a repeat customer, Matt. It's all Maine maple, Brazilian rosewood fingerboard, Brazilian rosewood headstock. Pretty cool. It's the coolest thing. It's like the most exciting thing for the longest amount of time. I think age 11 or 12 or something, they started really getting a hold of me, and I was kind of into woodworking. I just thought like wood was cool, and then it was just only a matter of time before I combined them, and that's been like the only thing that's stayed consistent. I've just been completely obsessed. This is like all I think about, and it's added up over time, you know. But yeah, I mean, there's not a doubt in my mind this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just doing it. I don't question it a lot. I just figure it's my duty. Yeah, if you want more highs, you just flip it over. I think the battery's getting low. It's kind of got a cool gated, glitchy sort of thing going on. I had prototyped some other stuff using this. This is before I made a form that I later used with a duplicator. So I actually carved this all by hand with a router and, you know, various other stuff. But now I can duplicate that on my duplicator. But yeah, it's a couple of different things. The heel was done different. It's still set neck, but you can see that I ended up with the heel flush instead of stepped like you'd normally see. It's also got a small volute. Don't really do that very often anymore. But I mean, the control layout, the carve, pretty much everything else stayed the same. The headstock, I'd already been doing the headstock like that shape. It's got some miles on it now. I love this thing, but it's starting to show it.
What year is this?
This is almost 10 years old now, so what, 2013, 2014, I think, somewhere in there. But a lot of people, everybody thinks it's black. It's like an eggplant color. I don't know if it's showing up in the video, but it's like a really dark purple. It's actually, it was like a magenta. It's kind of a candy, but without metallic, because there's like a magenta, and then there's blue over it, and you can see a couple of spots where it wore through right there. You can see the magenta underneath the blue, so it kind of a weird color, but I love it. It's all mahogany, maple top, ebony board. Pretty solid combo right there. Can't beat that.
Would this be considered the first muscle guitar? No,
I'd made a couple before that were, I wasn't calling them muscle guitars then, but I can get it out if you want. Similar idea, like a big tenon, as big as you can get it, big neck, just a structurally rigid guitar, and kind of that's the ethos, that's what's behind it. My tastes have changed a lot, and like a lot of the guitars I thought were cool, like when I was like a high schooler or whatever, when I was like first started building, like they're still kind of cool to me, but I think my tastes have changed a lot. And again, like I've gone more in like a traditional route, a more factory appearing style, which I think is I don't know if I want to say mature. I think it's a little more mature than trying to make something, at least for what I'm trying to do. I think it's a more mature place to come from than trying to do something that's like ultra modern and ultra sculpted and like trick in whatever way. I got my own ways of doing stuff. So what was the question again?
Was there a guitar that made you say like holy shit when you were a little kid, that maybe like flipped the switch in your brain or something?
Well, it's hard to pinpoint. I don't think there's any one. I think I was just taking in as much stuff as possible in guitar magazines. The internet was kind of new, so I was on the internet checking out like all kinds of like crazy stuff, like alembics and like various like very small niche luthiers. I can't even remember half of them now, but I don't know. It just all it's kind of all made an impact over time. And some of those things I was still taking in that I didn't like taste-wise at the time, like they kind of stuck with me subconsciously and kind of surfaced later on. I was able to appreciate them in a new way. So yeah, I don't know if it was any one thing that I was like, wow, that like changed my world. I think it was just a cumulative thing of I was just like a sponge. I was taking in as much guitar stuff as I could. I still am, really. It's the coolest thing there is.
So why build guitars in the first place?
I have to. I don't know. Delete anything.